Good morning. How are you doing? Are we going to cowboy up a practice versus a perfection of AI where trying to be perfect could be killing your entrepreneurship practice? Ditto how you're using artificial intelligence to be perfect. Are you trying to compile a astutely academic effort versus messily plodding forward with attempting to integrate artificial intelligence? Have you ever tried to shoot a basket into a goal where the goal was constantly moving? Now, what if the basketball itself changed? What if you're trying to put a goal? What if everything were massively changing without metaphors, which is what AI is doing to all of us? Have you been able to messily win and gain confidence in practicing versus analytically hoping that everything would just settle down so that way we could get one, even this video, where how do we go from a script of a business plan to a flow where, yeah, we had initially a business plan, but we're mostly going off of an outline or a sketch or a business model that's in flow. How do we get to flow state? The vulnerability of realizing that we don't get to have the luxury of being completely perfect. This is the practice of AI. Let's maybe bullet point a couple of things that we as humans have a tendency to do, which is not necessarily strive for perfection, but strive for understanding and be slow to innovate because it's easier to see when another human is out in the frontier, because who takes the arrows? The pioneers. Where we don't necessarily want to take the arrows, but this is a safe environment where we can practice. This is a non lethal situation where we're not risking lives. We're just risking not even embarrassment. We're risking temporary uncomfortability in adopting this new technology, artificial intelligence. This is a way to mitigate the risk in us working with this new environment with OpenAI, with Grok 3, with editing pictures, with coming up with artificially authored emails or augmented intelligence via blog posts or essays. This is where we get to change slightly our execution, our previewing, prompting, and preparation, which can change our career. This is one of the ways. When I say this upcoming name, people don't necessarily get demoralized, but people have preconceived notions where they're prompting their own brain. And this is part of the practice, which, whether it be a practice of baseball, a practice of being a cowboy, or a practice of shipping something with artificial intelligence, is having beginner's mind. Beginner's Mind Hawk Girl Entrepreneurship Club, which is the mindset that we are just beginning. So there's this person, his name is Warren Buffett. When you say the name Warren Buffett, there's a bunch of preconceived notions that are hardwired into how we, good morning, how are you guys? Hardwired into how we perceive content. What we're doing as practitioners is we're not coming to it as an expert. We're not waiting until we are an expert. What we're doing is becoming better and becoming in flow state by using AI to extrapolate what might be coming in the future. Imagine you're given a tool that is a time machine for what is going to happen in the future. Would you use that truth-telling machine to say, oh, who do you think is going to win at the Super Bowl? I want to bet on that. That's not how you're to use AI because it's a little too advanced. What if you were to use it in a way that other people don't use it, that is straightforward and basic, that is beginner's mindset, which is, what if we were to be able to take a book that somebody else wrote and then add a handful of chapters where we now can consume existing content in a way that makes us hungry and voracious and slightly accountable. Hungry meaning we're going to PQRST, preview, question, read, summarize, test. Voracious is where we gain a zest for reading. We gain a zest for making our brain's computer slightly improved. We gain a appetite to build our own repository. Am I talking about a GitHub code base? Yes, but also with our brain, with not getting demoralized when a person brings up a book. When we hear a live action bibliography, one of two things happens. We get demoralized because we think, oh, I own 4 books that I haven't read yet, but I bought the books hoping to eventually read that. Or we do the very common expert thing, which is, well, I'm going to need to hear a book get recommended 2, 3, or 5 times before I even buy the book. It's the whole slutty in relationships where I'm not going to commit to reading one book at one time until I'm socially proven to see. That's the perfection of AI, where that moment is not great to wait for because you'll be forever waiting. The onus, the burden, the conclusion to this video, which is off script dramatically, which is don't make AI a perfection, turn it into a practice. And a practice of, yes, extrapolating chapters, but the practice of, can you pump in 1 hour and then have AI yield more than 1 hour? That is philosophical. That is time in and time out. We necessarily don't want to be philosophical about it. We want to be massively practical because our time is valuable, not a question mark. Our time is valuable, exclamation point. Our time is arbitraged in the following way. What if you could pull money out before you put money in? Because if you're not asking AI to have you make a little bit more money, I don't think you're using AI properly. If AI is this brand new life-changing thing, it shouldn't just change the lives of billionaires or unemployed non-billionaires. Do you like what I did there? Where I didn't get too into the weeds. What if we in the middle class used AI to make $201? This is not the portion of the video where I'm selling you a workshop. This is us executing on this video as a standalone product, as a standalone body of content, as a solo entrepreneur, solo video, solo AI concept, which is this specifically. Can you take this? Can you take an existing book that you've read 1/7 of or 1/23 of because you're 2 chapters into a 64 chapter book? Can you take that book, or forget about book? Maybe that's too intimidating. Maybe the bar's too high. Remember, this is a practice, not a perfection. Can you take one video? It doesn't have to be a Larry Chiang video. How are you? It doesn't have to be a book. We can do a study buddy session, AI, artificial intelligent, Asian intelligent. So it's AI. In fact, are we going to rename this video Practice AI? Yeah. Did I just indoctrinate you into becoming an Asian? Not yet. Let's go slightly more. I almost said, let's go all the way. Let's go this way. Chinese people, thank you. Chinese people, they take they take math class before math class. Do I sometimes forget that I'm Asian? Yeah, because this is how to win at being a Caucasian cowboy. Let's set that aside for a moment because we're going to do AI, which is this. Chinese people are good at math because we take math class before math class. Who shows up cold at math class? People who are not going to ace math. What happens when we're playing basketball and the dude's just draining threes, and then you're like, whoa, what fresh hell is this? Are you magically good at math? Were you born good at math? Or the two Asian kids are just acing math, and you're like, oh, Chinese people, they must naturally be good at math. What we're doing is breaking down AI to be what? Can you study buddy one video that turns into $201? Can you spend sub 2 hours on YouTube, less than 120 minutes on YouTube, and make more money than you have on every other video that you doom scroll? Because I get caught doing what some of you guys might have experienced, which is the opiate and the indoctrination of YouTube influencers. These influencers, they're trying to grab attention. That's the arbitrage, is seeking attention in perhaps an attention seeking way that is not geared towards how can I get people to do the slightly challenging portion of self-improvement. Because what AI is doing is it's helping people that did the self-improvement prior work to become great. So it's helping literally rich people get richer, whereas it's a tool that could be used better. Do you like that? Without political commentary, AI is a tool that could help us get better. Look at the lack of distribution of this video. Look at the seemingly temporarily unpopular portion. Why? Because this video is attributed to accountability and follow through and expansion on a prior, right? Because accountability, which is, hey, you kind of got to come back to this video. Expansion on a prior. I don't love Warren Buffett, but being able to extrapolate one thing and turn it into, not to be a jerk, but 5 figures, should be the lowest bar. This is the point in the movie where we get to go back in time. Where are we going to? We're going to go to May 13, 2023. There's a supercomputer in your pocket that you're using for porn. Maybe quit porn. Maybe quit doom scrolling. Maybe we can connect on a YouTube creator practitioner to YouTube practitioner creator and DJ up one thing together. You know what? This is incredibly specific. If you're just jumping in, hi, I'm Larry Chiang. We're at the magic component of this video. Did this video meander prior to this? Yes. There's a little bit of going off script as we become practitioners, where we're no longer a pussy not prompting forward, not pushing forward, not self-improving. So you're going to have to do, not have to, but you're going to probably decide to, for your career benefit, this. We're going to ship one Warren Buffett chapter using AI. Let me repeat our obnoxiously awesome, dare I say, life goal in the next 5 minutes, because there is no wildo or dildo in the drawer. Because instead of fornicating, there's a squirrel party. Instead of fornicating using exterior devices, this is AI effing around and making money. Why? Warren Buffett recently retired, and retired dudes sometimes end up making money with a book. Because when we retire, oh, I'm going to retire the world, sail around, and then write a book. What if we were to use AI to write Warren Buffett's future chapter? Would a person who made a lot of money reading this book and Ben Graham, The Intelligent Investor, want to purchase a $200 book from the future? Most definitely, maybe. What we're doing is not vagina whispering. We are Wall Street whispering. Is that a joke? I think it's hilarious, because what is Wall Street whispering? It would be chapter 65, Engineering 245, which is the Columbia University Springboard. Columbia University, why? Because Warren Buffett, page 127, page 132, got into business school without having to apply. Why do I remember those things exactly? Because the 17th time I heard you should read Warren Buffett's Snowball is because I got into Stanford GSB in the same way that Warren Buffett got into Columbia Business School. Is it CBS, Columbia Business School? I don't know. But we get to use AI. You guys focus in the chat. Write practice Warren Buffett chapter, because accountability here. Have you even published one web page using artificial intelligence? Have you shipped or produced one product using AI? AI's been sentient and augmenting and accelerating for 3 years now. Have you been able to publish one chapter? That's what we're doing tonight. That's what we're doing in the next 15 minutes. Do you like how I pushed the can all the way down the road to doing it by tonight? No. We're doing it right now. You guys, focus. Take that big dildo energy between your legs, that big penis energy, what the kids are calling these days, big BDE, big penis energy, and let's not wag it on the internet. Let's put that energy back between our ears, where we ship one thing. What are we shipping? We're asking your favorite thing, Claude, OpenAI, Grok 3, Whisperflow, Windsurf, Cursor. We're asking it, hey, what's chapter 65? What is chapter 65? Because this book only has chapters 1 through 64. When you say chapter 65, people are going to assume that you read chapters 1 through 64. This is how everybody else uses AI. AI, will you book summary a book that I don't want to read and don't want to consume. This is how we're doing it. We're doing it by asking it, hey, if chapter 66 were snowball, what's the hashtag EUTWMPPMM relate to chapter 66? Do you see how we're writing specific chapters in a book that we don't yet own? Do you see how we're going to be selling a $20 book before we buy this $14 book? Because everyone else is saying, I'm not going to buy the book. Will Grok 3.5, 0.6, 4.0, Grok 3.0, it doesn't matter. Will you summarize the book so that way I don't have to read it? You don't want to do less than what's required. That is not a Chinese person in math class before math class. The way to win is not to just be the vagina whisperer and skip to the steps of, oh, so basically it's just being a pussy magnet. No. What we're doing is we're coming up with chapter 67, which dovetails into chapter 19, which is stepping into a new destiny. Did you DJ this book in with Joe Dispenza becoming supernatural? Yeah, because stepping towards a new destiny is chapter 67. Am I cheating by giving you unpublished chapters? Am I cheating? No. I'm showing you how to use AI, Asian intelligent artificial intelligence. Because chapter 67, remember, this book only has 64 chapters. And you can say, oh, Rational Male, page 132, page 128, which is, oh, he's a homo. Because now you're arresting your own brain to not have to do the work. Because when we do the work, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, recharging batteries, you're welcome. Practicing AI, not perfecting AI. Because when we look for shortcuts, this is what happens when we scroll too much, is can you be accountable? Can you expand on a prior? Can you take one video of a Chinese cowboy and ship one web page? Can you take a snippet? Let's say a web page is too hard for you because you don't even have a website and you don't know how to publish a web page. This is what AI improves upon. But let's say you don't have a LinkedIn account because you're also scared of social media. What we're doing is, within the construct of this video, is winning at entrepreneurship by practicing AI. What we're doing is we're winning at networking by utilizing AI in a only profitable way, which is chapter 19, stepping towards a new destiny. Chapter 67, are we cheating? A little bit, because what we're doing with this cheat code is we're using AI to read unpublished future chapters. We're winning at entrepreneurship. How? Which is being able to ship something that is from the future. With Warren Buffett and the emotional response that people get, which is, oh, can you even code? Can you even read? Or do you go from YouTube chat to YouTube chat hoping for a gay tryst, or hoping for a insult that turns into attention because your brain is wired for dopamine of a reaction? Or can you focus in the way that I'm focused on delivering to you chapter 68, Snowball, which is Warren Buffett's unpublished chapter 68. Why? Because him and Alice Seibold only published 64 chapters. So your LinkedIn post or your Bluesky or your YouTube video could be chapter 70, which is 6.15, and the concept of 6.15 Bitcoin, because chapter 69 is faux franchise, chapter 68 is Bitcoin wave. Chapter 71, you ask? There's only 64 chapters. How are you coming up with chapter 71? Duck 9, deeply understanding debit data. Oh my God. Have I been using AI since back before when it was ML, machine learning? Notice how the people who go from room to room dropping insults or comments or feedback, their brains are broken. And once you see that it turns out 70, 80, 90% of our friends' brains are broken, because this is free. There's not going to be a follow-on gated community for you to enter a private networking group for. I'm not going to say those people are losers, but why would you hide? If you really were good at what you're doing, why would you hide it behind a paywall? If you really understood business model, why would you have it be the most cliche, dumb business model ever? Or if you were really good at AI, why don't you give away your content for free because you're so good that you can make money using AI? I think I just confused myself, but what I'm saying is screenshot this. You are now the official co-author of chapter 71, which is deeply understanding debit data. Because what was the prior thing? What was the prior thing? The prior thing was deeply understood credit knowledge. Is that AI, Asian intelligence? Yes, because I took two books, Mark McCormack, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, Jerry Detweiler, The Ultimate Credit Handbook, and I mashed those two books together, mashed them together in a vagina whisperer methodology, which is not just naturally being born a good pussy magnet, okay? Not. Which is taking Jerry Detweiler's book, The Ultimate Credit Handbook, and asking, what if Jerry Detweiler and Mark McCormack started a business? What would it be? It would be Duck 9. And do you see how that is AI prompting? In fact, if you haven't written down anything and just shot screenshots, this is what you're going to write down, because this is the whole kit and caboodle of an AI practice, which is, can you prompt slightly better than you before you watched this video? Prompting defined is preparation. Prompting is pre-working the book. Prompting is PQRST, because after you prepare, you ask questions. What if Jerry Detweiler started a company with Mark McCormack? R. Okay, now I'm going to have to read all this stuff that AI generated. S. Summary. After you read it, you're going to have to do the Cliff's Notes version. You're going to need to do the condensed version. Also, you're going to need to do the opposite of that, which most people don't use for AI, which is, I don't want the condensed version of chapters 1 through 64. That's what everybody's prompting AI to do, which is, oh, Joe Dispenza wrote 3 books. Evolve Your Brain, Book 2, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Book 3, Becoming Supernatural. I don't want to have to read all those books. So AI, Grok 3.69, will you summarize the 3 books so that way when I go to a Joe Dispenza party that I don't seem like I don't know what I'm talking about? What is going on is most people treat the world like book club. And what happens at book club? Cynically, beginner's mindset, and being cynical at the same time. There's 20 people in book club, in any book club. Over half the people didn't read the book. 20% of the people don't even know the book title, but 110% of the people are talking their fair share of the time because they're lonely and they want to go to book club and they want people to listen to them talk, even though they didn't even read the book for book club. Meanwhile, the 2 of us who read the book twice or 4 times, which is what happens when you use the PQRST speed reading methodology, which is also taking math class before math class, which is when you use PQRST and AI, you're not just reading the book 1.0 times. Technically, mathematically, analytically, you're reading this book 4.0 times because you're doing PQRST. And if this is the second line of paper notes that you've written, you're welcome, because your first line was prompting. If you're just joining this video, maybe you should locate pen and paper, which is PQRST reading a book 4.0 times. Remember, if you read a book 4 times in the same time that most people take to read the book 0.25 times, it's the same under $20 for the book that you purchased. Let me repeat that. If I'm reading Irv Grosbeck's Stram GT 353 textbook, New Business Ventures and the Entrepreneur, that I purchased used for $2, and I read it 4 times and I get into Stanford Business School 1 time, I don't have to pay the author more than the $2 because I own the physical copy of the book for less than 20. Have you ever asked, hey, book, hey, I paid less than $20 or $0 if you go to the library. Can I use this book to go to business school for free? Would that be chapter 65? Would you want to go to business school for free? Because that's chapter 65. It's literally chapter 65. But let's say purchasing a book for under $20 or going to the library is too high of a bar. Remember, this video is called Practicing AI, not perfecting going to the library because you're a librarial virgin. Come on, be honest. I can tell some of you guys don't fornicate, and that's okay because you're a library virgin. What if you asked AI, hey, summarize Larry Chiang's Practicing AI video. Can it help me finish a bachelor's degree in engineering? Can it get me to one class learned about AI? Can this video make me $201, expanding on a prior with accountability? My email address is larry@duck9. Email me your PQRST preview question read summarize notes, whether or not you want to ship chapter 65, which is Columbia as a springboard. Whether you want to see Columbia as your reach college, to me, my safety school, or a class, engineering 245, hashtag ENGR 245. Because remember, the goal of this video is to practice AI. The goal of this video is to take an existing book and do something legendary. Legendary, which is Warren Buffett just retired. Can you benefit from that retirement? You did not even think when you went from video to video to realize that this one video is your return on invested time, ROIT, or ROI, for all the videos that you've ever scrolled through. This video, maybe you could screenshot it. You don't have to. Maybe I'm your first Chinese friend. You can categorize me as Asian, or you can categorize me as artificially intelligent, or AI, which is augmented intelligence. Because it turns out my IQ is only 88. It's below 90, but I'm not kicking your ass because we're friends. I would never kick your ass. I would never demoralize you. But if you're a VC and you're kind of a giant douchebag and you're like, haha, I have millions of dollars, beg for it. I'm not begging, okay? That's not how the vagina whisperer rolls. In fact, you should ask AI, who is the vagina whisperer? Because we're augmenting intelligence by selling chapters 65, which is Engineering 245 Columbia as a springboard. Chapter 66, Snowball. Oh, it's the name of the book. But Warren Buffett left off a significant hashtag that is chapter 66, which is hashtag EUTWMPPM. And when you're commenting, keep yapping, what you're doing is your lizard loser brain is trying to not win. Whereas your conscious brain is like, oh my God, I've never been so heterosexually attracted to such a genius dude. because chapter 67 is what Warren Buffett doesn't do, which is hashtag. Hashtag, the way losers do it, is hashtag sarcasm, hashtag keep yapping. Hashtags, the way that we're doing it for the first time, because augmented intelligence, Asian intelligence, artificial intelligence, AI, hashtag, is hashtag connected comments, hashtag ENGR245, hashtag EUTWMPPMM, engineering up a tidal wave of momentum, perpetual promotion, machine making. EUTWMPPMM. Is this also what MicroStrategy is doing with Michael Saylor and hashtag LABCS1459? Yeah. Did I use AI to front run Wall Street? Let's not get too complicated, because remember, this is a beginner's video. We're not going to take down GameStop and AMC, the short sellers. We're going to focus on some basics. Did I just wow you with front running June 24 to June 26 Stanford Board of Directors corporate governance back when I shipped the agenda using AI October 1 through 4 at Hotel Zaza in the year 2024? Because remember, today is May 13 and tomorrow is going to be May 14. Are we going to be AI virgins by tomorrow? No, because you're learning today. Hashtags, connected conversations, hashtags, the way that Chris Messina meant when he invented the hashtag. Hashtag chapter 19. The way that I front run unpublished chapters is CHA19. My mentor, Mark McCormack, he's got 14 chapters. The way I signify those using a hashtag is hashtag CH7. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, we're back. Do you like how Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club gets to be on the back burner? Shelby Sapp, Sarah Loretta, Lisa Falzone. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, May 13. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, instead of waiting for a free trip to Miami, we are going to Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, instead of waiting for a free trip to Miami, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, instead of waiting for a free trip to Miami, we're using AI to vagina whisper ourselves, because we're the first person to tell ourselves to no longer be a pussy or leverage pussy or just start using AI, because it's actually incredibly stressful to get a free trip to Miami. Why? Because there's a little bit of danger when we get a free trip. We're not in control of the airplane flight, and we're not in control of our hotel and lodging. This is what every girl who's hot, who goes to Dubai thinking, am I getting trafficked? Technically, you're trafficking yourself. What we're going to do is we're going to control our flight, we're going to control the money, and we're definitely going to control our lodging. That's what we're doing when we read a book. Am I convincing hot girls to read our first book this year? Maybe. Have you guys read a book cover to cover yet this year? No pressure, just the accountability of, yes, reading our first book, but also publishing sequential chapters to a book that we have not yet purchased. But because I don't want you to buy Warren Buffett's book and then not execute it, you were actually not allowed to purchase that book in order to get a trip to Miami. What you're first going to do is hashtag CHA65, chapter 65, to hashtag CHA72. Do you like how specific these hashtags are? This is AI in flow for beginner's mindset. This is us winning at artificial intelligence in a way that lets us win one thing. Because we're going to feel so much better after winning one thing. Chapter 72. Venue 4 is just Venue 1. What is this a homage to? The fact that I used AI to drop the fact that there's only 4 layers of venture capital. Layer 0 is LinkedIn. Layer 3 is LinkedIn. Layer 1 is the calendar. How many times have I mentioned specific dates? Today's May 13th, and Art Basel for Huckle Entrepreneurship Club is December 7 through 12. Front running the calendar is Layer 1 VC, is Chapter 72 Snowball. Layer 2 of venture capital is, can you slap an animal on it and make it slay? This is Celestial Mining and Management, accounting software for mining. This is the mascot. Hashtag CMMASFM. Why is it called Chiang Manning and Management accounting software for mining? It's because it's twice mentioning accounting software in mining. Why? Because it turns out when you're mining Bitcoin, you don't need an ASIC server because you can do treasury operations in order to mine Bitcoin. Did we stumble upon that? Yeah? Stumble upon. Is that the same concept as Garrett Camp? Yeah. Stumble upon. Is that AI? Yes. Is this AI before when eBay bought it? Yes. Stumbling upon something awesome. Because layer 2 is you slap an animal on it. You slap an animal on it and you make it slay. Look, it's a cute little starfish. Why are we calling it a starfish? Because we want to slap an animal on it and make it slay. Do you like how he lights up? It's cute, right? That's layer 2 venture capital. Is this chapter 72 of Snowball? Yes. Have you been entertained? I hope you have. Oh, I know you have. Will you execute and win one thing?